is it not possible that that psychic kind of energy can also exist in this way?
You're curious.
It is changing how we live.
Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's good. You got me very curious about what we're doing today. Because all you said is you're going to be, you've given me some adjectives. You're going to be hyped.
I know.
You're going to be, so I have no idea. I don't know what I'm live reacting to. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, this is a topic that we will probably dive into with a guest who I am just manifesting right now that we will have this guest on our podcast soon. I need to hit her up, but I feel confident we're going to get her on. Which I will come to her in just a little bit. I think first things first, I'm going to send Megan a little TikTok to look at, which she'll probably be like confused at what this is and where I'm going with this, maybe. But I think it's interesting, and we're gonna get her like live thoughts as best as we possibly can while she watches this. It's so bizarre, but okay. I'm texting it to you right now.
All right.
The audience currently knows more than you know because they can read the episode title and description.
All right. So let's see. We have. Ooh.
This is linked below. Everything we're talking about is linked below. And I'm going to have like extra resources even below. But like there's two main TikTok videos.
I don't know how to describe it, but like this, like when you have your mouse, like there's like a feeling there when you do that. But when you take it off, like it's nothing. And then even like this, it's like you feel like, I don't even know, like there's just a feeling there. Like
I can, yes, like it's like I got like, yeah, it's like when it's just the mousing, not a lot, but when you see like when the mouse is about to do something, you're like, oh, what are you doing, you dirty little mouse?
Okay, right. Okay, so
I could not even tell you where we're going with this, though. I do agree with them, but I have no idea where you're taking, what journey you're taking me on.
I know. I don't necessarily know where it's going either. I just have like all sorts of thoughts on this. Basically, Megan watched the first TikTok video that's linked, if anybody wants to go watch it. And it's a guy who's just moving his computer mouse around. You know how your computer mouse is like normally like a little arrow, right? But then you move it over like a text field, like the URL field, for instance, where you go to type in like a website, and it changes from the arrow to the little like vertical line, like a cursor.
Isn't it called? Yeah, I'm sorry. I said it's an eclipsy.
I don't think is that a word?
I just made that up.
Oh.
When you said cursor, I was like, yeah, that's the appropriate.
Well, I think the whole thing's called a cursor. I don't really know. I don't know. But point being, he's saying he's noticing some sensation of feeling when the mouse changes like that. Like it just goes from being like the little pointer, the arrow, to this cursor in a text field all of a sudden. And then if you look through the comments, they're fascinating. There's people talking about all sorts of other similar experiences. Like, for example, the one that I most relate to, there's a few, but the one I most relate to is you copy and paste like a big chunk of text. And when you copy a big chunk of text, it's like it sucks up into you, and now you feel the weight of it before you go to paste it. right? And then when you paste it, you literally feel like lighter, like a sense of relief.
Is this like reverse ASMR? Like, is it
I don't know.
ASMR for like with feeling without the
I
sound? What is there a term for this?
So I don't, there's no term. That's the funny thing. There's like a couple like people in the comments who are saying like they're UX designers, like they design in digital interfaces, right? And they're like, this makes me so happy. And they're like, this is why it's so important to like have good user interface, blah blah blah. Okay, but like there's no like nobody's given like it's super accurate word. Some people talking about terms like potential energy, or like anticipation. There's like there's like descriptors, but there's not some term for this. And I think this is fascinating. And this is going to go some places here.
Uh-huh.
The whole point essentially is that there are clearly a lot of people resonating with this idea, and that
Hmm.
it's like digital empathy, and people who are having feelings and sensations tied to digital experiences like this. And this is like some bizarre side effect of our new virtual digital world, right?
Reality.
It's a bizarre
That's so crazy
phenomenon.
because when I felt like chill, like it was like, ooh, like
I
when,
know.
yeah,
Isn't that so interesting?
it is because human beings shall and do evolve.
Yeah. So here are some like other kind of examples of what we're talking about in this idea of like attributing like real world feelings to a digital environment and how strange that is. Here are some comments from that video specifically.
Hmm.
Um People definitely agreeing with the copy paste vibe. One person saying, I feel like anything that's linked has a like softness to it, and regular text is just like flat and stiff, but like a
Hmm.
link, it's clickable. And it's like squishy or
True.
something, you know what I
And
mean?
and think about how I don't know about you, but like when I go to like paste the link and it just comes up as text instead of the clickableness, it's hard, it's stiff, it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
I agree.
person, yeah. And like another person said, like when there's like a link or buttons or something that actually aren't live, but it's supposed to be a clickable link. And then the feeling of like rage that you get when you're like, this isn't clicking, this isn't opening. This is supposed to be a clickable like environment, you know? Um, Another person just wrote like, I think speaking about like how the mouse changes to like a cursor in a text box, they say it's the feeling of purpose, a new adventure. Like it gives them this like excitement of like an open field dynamic. You know what I mean? Like how interesting is that? Another person wrote, it's like I'm fully engaged with the computer and we are locked in as one.
What in the fuck?
Such a weird, but what a weird, but I mean, people are like obviously overly like feeding into this idea now, but it
Humans,
is true. It's sort of like,
y'all need to get outside and read a book. You need to go in, you need to go make out with somebody is what you need to do. I'm locked in with my computer and I'm one. What?
okay, but you know what they're saying, right? Like it's true. It's like there's this like
This is how we ended up fucking dolls. Okay. This is from porn to this.
this is
This is how that's how we have there's a sex toy brothel, this sort of shit. That's the gateway. This locked in with the computer. And then everyone went to porn. And then now we have a brothel of sex toys in Houston or sex dolls. Gross in Houston where you can just go, ugh, this is how this feeling. I'm not, no.
but
Continue.
this isn't that because those are physical objects.
True.
Like
I know, but the feelings get there. You get there first with your mind. This is the gateway.
but okay, but this is like taking me in some weird rabbit hole stuff because I don't know if that is the mind now.
Oh,
Um, this is like an interesting
oh,
thing. There's something weird going on.
okay.
There's so many like examples like this, like, and as you interact with your own computer or your own, like one person said when they're on their mobile and they're copy pasting on their mobile, they feel like the copied text like gets sucked up into their finger, and then when it pastes, it's like it like gets spit out of their finger. Like it's just the sensation of that. You know what I mean? Obviously, this is gonna be different for people for like different people, but people are really experiencing that. One thing I really did uh feel uh was somebody said when I take a screenshot on my computer and I have to drag that screenshot somewhere, it feels so heavy. Like the screenshot feels so heavy. And I was like, that is so fucking true. That is so fucking true. I literally, every time I take a screenshot of something and I gotta move the screenshot, it feels the weight of it is crazy to me.
I do. I like to empty things. Like I like when it like the second there's one thing in the trash can on my Mac, I'm like, empty, get out of there. We're taking the trash out.
Yeah.
Can't be having any extra weight in my computer.
Yeah. So
Ew, that's creepy.
I know. So it's bizarre. This whole thing is weird. And this new, there's no real term for this, but there's ways of kind of considering it based off other things we know. So I'm like, where do I go from here? Basically, there's like somebody's got to come up with a term for this, really. It's like, what is this? Digital feeling, digital sensation phenomenon. Like it's also kind of like a form of synesthesia, like a new form of synesthesia. Why are where where people like taste a color. This is like I'm I'm sensing, I'm feeling digital movement,
Footprints, yeah.
like non-real movement. It's so weird to me. And there is something I'm like trying to sift through my notes here. They're like honestly disorganized, I'm trying. But there is a interesting thing called
Mhm.
embodied cognition. This is where I'm like, and science is a little bit like, is it the brain though? Basically, the theory of embodied cognition says that our thoughts and decision-making processes are influenced by how we interact with the world around us physically. So your physical body and vessel interacting and perceiving the physical world is what dictates thought in a big way. There's a lot to this. It's like that's like a whole fucking subject all on its own. I'm linking to something about embodied cognition. You can look into it. But it's an interesting neurological kind of theory here where
Mhm.
it's like we think like thought, I don't know, thought body moves obviously based off of thought. Like we can think something and be like, oh, I want to go do that now or whatever. But it's like,
Yeah.
I guess we think that maybe because of the physical environment that we're immersed in or we're conditioned by or something, right? So thoughts go certain places based on our physical interactions. But this is like applying that to a digital world where like our brains are processing virtual realities as physical environments. So we're interpreting these actions of like copy this, pick up this big chunk of text and put it down over there. Like and feeling this like
You ever
sensation.
see this is kind of similar to Cool World growing up with Brad Pitt and he falls in love with like this cartoon character. It was like and they had like sex and it was
Why are you on this? You're Megan is like going some strange ways with
no,
this.
but it's just like because it was so well, I was in second grade and I remember being like, I don't think I should be watching this Brad Pitt.
Now
But
I get it.
but
Now
it was so it was just so like a cartoon world. This is it's just like ew, I don't like I don't think no one needs to get those VR headsets. You know, that's the where you're like really in it. I know one of my friends, her brother gets off work and he's a baker in the VR world. And like he has like he makes money, but he has a real bakery. And so his wife walks in and he's just making fucking bread with his little goofy glasses on and he makes, like and then you have to be in your town a certain amount of hours and all of it just wigs me out. So now we have sensation. So yeah, this man with his fake ass bakery really thinks that he's baking bread. And then, oh,
Well, yeah, like this to me makes more sense though. It's like these
totally.
this
But
like
it's
this
all
like
cousin.
simulated reality is like more of this immersed world experience, I guess, where it just like makes sense that maybe you'd have some sort of emotional reaction to it. I'm fascinated by the fact that digital the digitization of us has now brought people to a space where it's like we're having these micro feelings about everything that we're doing in our movements online. And it's really interesting. I swear this is so bizarre, I know, but like it's good. Like I'm gonna take this into some really fucking fascinating places. So I do like the person that said something about anticipation. Like that does feel important. Like you got to do something. Like the brain is like preparing itself for the next step. And so you feel like some sort of tension there, maybe of like this incomplete action that is getting ready to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that's interesting, but and the synesthesia idea, I think, is interesting because it does feel like that's maybe one of the closest terms we have to that's like some new form of synesthesia going on here. It's just so strange to me. Um, an interesting thing that this made me think of is animism, which is kind of where you were going a little bit. And this is like digital animism, where basically it's like this is like in child psychology. Animism is when kids ascribe emotions or personalities to inanimate objects, like their teddy bear is on the floor and that seems sad. The teddy bear is sad to that, or right, or the toy car has feelings.
Mm-hmm.
This that in and of itself is like a really interesting phenomenon, but like the reason kids experience animism, it's like between ages 2 and 7, and it's it's just a part of our cognitive development because they struggle to differentiate between self and like external world, right? So they project a lot of what they're actually feeling onto other things, and they think that it's the other thing feeling that, you know?
But also, like, remember Wilson from Castaway,
Mhm.
and like, and how Tom Hanks. I mean, the reason why I say this is because, like, there was side tour. I one time went to a bar and there were like a lot of assaults happening. So we were like, oh, we got to get a weapon. My friend and I, we were like 25. So we were in my kitchen and I like opened up. There was a wooden spoon. And anyway, we got super drunk that night and we painted a face on him. And then we gave him a name named Erwin St. Randy. And if I don't know where Erwin St. Randy is, like he's near me at all times. Like here he is right now. So like I can understand. So do people grow out of this? I will freak out. One time Erwin was in my car, I freaked out. And it's just a wooden spoon with a face on it. But it's like there's a layer of comfortability. He's also so hard that when I whacked a dude in the head one time, he did bleed. So yeah, like there was a protection aspect.
Yeah, and I think some of it's like sentimentality. We have like
Yep.
this like nostalgia or whatever memory is that we give to
Mm-hmm.
important objects, but the actual like true feeling, I think
Mm-hmm.
we know better as adults, right? Like our brain separates it. I think the same would
Mm-hmm.
probably be true in this sense. You're like the brain knows as I copy this paragraph, there isn't a weight to that, but we feel it nonetheless. The experience of it is real
The energy.
nonetheless. There's some
Yep.
bizarre thing there. And it like in my mind, the best way I could think to relate it was this idea of like animism and giving feeling to things that are non-living. But this is different too, because it's not the physical world either. Like we aren't actually holding that teddy bear or whatever, right? Um,
Mhm.
So I
It gives
was I
me heebie-jeebies.
I know there's some weird shit with this. So I'm like thinking is is are these digital feelings something people experience like if they never fully grew out of this like childhood animism, like their brain didn't fully develop or something, so they're still misappropriating feeling, right?
Hello,
Like,
I just showed you a wooden spoon with
no,
a
do you know what I'm
face
saying?
on it.
Right?
Like,
Like, like there could totally be something to that.
he
Like,
has two
and
Facebooks. I mean, I don't know. Am I okay? That's as I'm like listening to this.
this is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you're okay or not.
I'm not.
Well, I know, but then it's like, it is this feeling, is it kind of like adults tapping back into animism somehow? Like this, these digital feelings, is that kind of like what this is? And like, what does that mean? Like, I was thinking of like pros and cons of this. Like, in a way, I'm like, oh my God, like if we are just naturally developing and evolving to attribute feeling and sensation to these like common acts that we have to take online and stuff, what a fucking way to slow down our productivity. Like if you're in a corporate job and you're over here like feeling the weight of the shit that you're copy and pasting all day, like literally, if this is a very real sensation for you,
We don't need to, but like also, like people who are like, I'm an empath. I'm an empath.
this
They'd be
is
like,
also it,
yeah, like
right?
I'm sucking up the weight of the information into my fingers, and now it. It's
Uh-huh.
oh no, 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 no.
No, but okay, so this is also what's interesting to me. So yeah, there's this animism question that I don't have answers to. I'm just like it kind of
Hmm.
reminds me of that. Like we are giving feeling to things that don't exist. But then it goes to that empathy route of like, is that what this is called? Digital empathy? Like we're all of a sudden experiencing sensations that are basically, it's like, yeah, empathy, but like, which could be good in a way. Like some people, like that guy is sitting here describing feelings. That video, it's a dude. Normally it's like
Yeah,
women who are like empathetic or whatever. He just looks like some normal like bro.
I was
And
gonna
he's over
say,
here
yeah,
like, what's this feeling? Like, isn't there a feeling here? And he's like
yeah.
questioning feeling, which also isn't this what being psychic is? Like having feeling to non-physical things, like sensations and a sense of like something is there, Like what is that?
But words, I mean, words do have vibration. I mean, I can see if you want, like, I can see, but also I don't want some people who have to have a label or attachment or a reason to bullshit and fuck around and I don't want them to see the reasoning behind this because no.
For
Like
sure.
I don't want like, oh, I absorbed all these guys' words and the copy and paste and
I
now
know.
no, you're lazy. There's like that crazy.
Okay, I know, but and like I mean, people already are like, if you're like truly psychic and you've got like a wide open aura and shitty boundaries and you like brush up against someone IRL, moods are contagious.
They
So
sure are.
this is that is and that's a psychic kind of phenomenon. This I don't know, exchange of energy going on there, right? But the reality is we live in a digital environment now. The digital life is an extension of our very real reality. So,
Yep.
is it not possible that that psychic kind of energy can also exist in this way because it is so ingrained in everything that we do? It's like getting an email and you just sense it when someone's pissed off in the email. Why do we just know? You just know. Some people suck at it. Granted, right? Some people are shitty ass texters and they do not know how to communicate and they probably don't know. And honest to God, like I'm thinking of one person in particular, and they suck at communicating IRL too. They are shitty texters and shitty communicators in real life.
Ugh.
But I'm like so sensitive to that shit. I feel like I know the subtext
Yeah.
between and I know better too that like we should not be judging. Like
Yes.
we're typically very
Tonation.
off.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're typically very off. But now that it's so integrated into our experience, it's like, is it not possible that we're learning this?
You can create, I'm thinking it's so many offshoots. First off, every time you say phenomenon, all I can hear is phenomenon. It's this like audio that's been trending on TikTok. So like every time you say that. But like my friend Mare, she was the other day she was doing my hair and she was like, "Oh, I gotta." She's super busy, but she was like, "I gotta go like feed the cows." And I was like, "What the fuck did you say?" Like, 'cause I know for a fact she doesn't have cows and she's like, "And the goats." And I'm like, "Are you talking to me?" Like, and what are you talking about? You're one of my best friends. There's no cows and goats. And she was like, "Oh, on my farm." And she has this like farm game that she was like, "I just completely disassociate and like look at my farm." And so it was like, she was showing me, and there I am watching this bitch play this game where she's feeding cows, and she had to make a mocha to get churned butter. And I was like, I don't understand any of how this works, nor can I afford in my life to get into something like this, because I know that if I download this and I get into it, then my life will be consumed. You just talked to me about like you had a real farm, okay? Like you have real chickens and goats. Oh, I don't like any of it. I'm gonna throw. It makes me want to throw my phone out the window. I mean, I'm not going to, but ew, this creeps me out.
I know. But again, it's like still, I don't know, when there's such an immersive experience, or even like with virtual reality glasses or whatever, like I feel like that makes a little more sense logically for me. I think I'm thinking, I don't know, in these like subtler ways, which is what's making me think there's this like psychic nature to what's going on here, or this like
Yeah.
empathy opening up to people
I
feeling
can
this
see, I
stuff.
can like feeling the energy or intent behind someone's communication. I can get down with that.
Copy pasting, you don't
Copy
understand.
paste. I
I
mean, I
feel it
get, but
though.
then,
I
but then
feel it.
I know. I'm not saying it's not real, but like the energetics behind it. But then also, I'm thinking about what I tell, like what my teachers told me, which is like, for instance, with Reiki, like they were like, yeah, like sleep with your book, sleep, like have it imprinted. So really, then, and that's what like, and I'll sleep with texts and different things in my, whether I fall asleep with them or I'm intentionally putting them under my bed to absorb. So there's really no difference, except one's a book made of, paper and wood, and one has radio frequencies or whatever. But I don't know. It gives me the heat. It like gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't.
I know. I think I'm like fascinated by the,
You're curious.
yeah, I'm curious and I'm fascinated by the integration of our digital existence into real life and the ways it is changing how we live. Like I'm not talking about some bullshit like where's AI gonna go and it's gonna take jobs. I'm literally talking about this like clear enmeshment between physical sensation and reality and feeling and the digital life. And I know that like, for example, we've always known that handwriting something is going to lock it in to your memory more than typing it out will, But
Yeah.
is that always going to be the case? Or is that just the case because we weren't so enmeshed into the digital life? But now that digital life is the thing, will it start to have the same effect on us? And handwriting goes away. So maybe that's just like not going to matter as much to people anymore and it won't sink in handwriting soon. I think that a lot of this is like TBD. We don't know where this is going yet, but I'm fascinated by it. And a little bit of it is like it makes me think of like the phantom phone syndrome stuff where you think your phone is vibrating in your pocket and it's not. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the same type
Yeah.
of shit here. There's just the physical element of that, right? But like we physically are feeling some level of weight, right? When we copy paste or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. There's some interesting shit here. So all this said, I'm like kind of just really considering now my movements and like my productivity on the computer and like how I don't want to get stuck in this. Like, I definitely don't want to be feeling the weight of a copy and paste because otherwise I'm not going to get shit done. Good God. Like, I'm
Yeah.
literally, it's going to prohibit my productivity. So I need to shut that shit off now that I'm aware of it. Sorry to anybody else who's like all of a sudden, like, I can't work on computers anymore. Thank you, clairvoyance. Sorry. No, but like, really. But I'm all, at the same time very interested in the fact that, like, it maybe is some sort of gateway to empathy or psychic awareness or opening for some people who maybe wouldn't be experiencing it otherwise, right?
I
And
can see that.
that's cool to me. And this is where I'm going to show you video number 2.
Oh gosh. Okay.
This one is a twist on the story here. Audience, please join us and go please go watch the second TikTok video. This is fascinating to me, and I really want to get her on the podcast so badly.
Yeah, this was when you said the first video. I would be like a little confused, and the second one.
Yeah, you're gonna see what I mean. Like, at the start, you're gonna think this is a joke.
Quick side note edit. The video in question that we're about to play the clip of is a couple minutes long, so we actually just chopped it up so it's shorter. If you want to see the full thing, the link is in the show description.
You're reading her emojis.
Okay, yes, I'm reading her emojis. I'm a healer, and how I read for people is through their emojis.
It's not.
Excuse me,
sorry.
Come on, keep filming.
You're being played right now.
No, I'm
This is
not
like-
playing
Yeah,
her.
you
No,
are,
I'm
you
not.
are. I see
Stay
all
here,
the
Haga.
time. I'm a reader too, and if you're connecting to source, like maybe do it in an authentic way.
Let me read for you and show you that I'm real. Right here, you have 2 hearts above the banana. Basically, I know. You have a dichotomy right now. You like boys and girls, don't you? But I see right now, pansexuality, sure.
Okay.
Put it in a pan. You're also going through a challenge right now. You have the skull and crossbones, as in tarot, right? Death is what?
Rebirth!
Boom, bitch! Rebirth mixed with the swimmer in reverse means that you've stopped something abruptly. And it's not about your love life. This is actually about maybe your job or career or a passion project. Is it true?
I've never done anything like that!
The video, for those who haven't seen it, is a woman who's all over the city of LA, I believe, and she like stops some healer, some like very new agey type person. It's like, are you giving these people readings? And the person in question that we're talking about, who I want on as a guest, is like, yeah, I do emoji readings. And the other chick is like, I'm an actual healer. Like, you're scamming people, basically. And she's like so annoying and new agey. And then the emoji reader gives this chick a reading, and it's like spot on. And if you are on TikTok or not, go peruse this person's account. And the other videos are like fascinating. She is so funny, first of all. And she will just walk up to people. I saw her like some dudes were like just drunk, like a bunch of straight dudes drunk at a table, like having dinner. And she just like crashes their table and just starts giving them readings. But she does readings based on your recently used emojis. And the more you watch her, the more you kind of get where she's coming from and how she's doing it.
I'm literally looking at my emojis right now.
She's really fascinating to me because at first, I'm not kidding, that's the first video I saw of her, the one I showed you and the one I've got linked here. And I thought she was a joke. I literally thought the whole thing was like, what's the skit or something?
Yeah.
And no, she literally does this. She's so funny. And it has me thinking, like, A, what an interesting talent to realize you have all of a sudden. B,
what creative.
Isn't this divination? This is divination. Like, when you think about it, divination, aka fortune telling, whatever. Divination is astrology, it's tarot, it's all tea leaves. Anything can actually be divination. It's this idea of like kind of seemingly random physical world, typically stuff strewn about that you interpret meaning from, because nothing is random. There are no coincidences, right? So that's this idea of divination. And frankly, it's like you could realize anything can be divined. People throw sticks. You could pick up a handful of rocks in your backyard and realize you got the power of reading these rocks when you throw them. And you can give people that, the universe is going to connect with you and help you make meaning in ways that you need to. And if you're supposed to be like a
Mhm.
reader or a healer or something, it's gonna work. It's really interesting. But emojis, what a fucking new modern ass twist on like psychic talent,
And how many, I mean, your emojis say so much about you.
right?
Because even there were people on TikTok who are like, if you want to see if he's cheating or if someone's cheating, go to their emojis because, you know, they're not going to have the water symbol. If you're not getting the water symbol, and it was like, I mean, it does make sense. Who are you sending, if you're sending these emojis to?
Yeah. And it's like, in a way, that's like how we communicate through GIFs and memes now often. Like they convey these feelings, you know,
Yeah.
we can speak in these ways that we know what we're saying without actually saying anything. It's so fascinating. But then even with emojis, like people always call emojis like our modern day hieroglyphics, right?
Yeah.
And uh that to me brought this back totally, where I'm like, oh, holy shit, like all meaning, all emotions, all thoughts, all moments of expression that we have are had to start getting interpreted through language. Like this, emojis are just digital language, hieroglyphs, and then the written word and all of that. It's it's like the way that we translate what we're experiencing and our moods, how we convey ourselves. And now we can like attribute words to physical objects or whatever in many ways, but I'm like, damn, like all of this idea of like, here's how I feel, and you understanding and connecting with me on that level started as like symbols anyway, like the way that
Yeah.
we would interpret this. So I feel like there's something so new age, well, in a good way, new, modern, with this reader and communicating or divining through emoji, but it's so primitive at the same time.
I'm still, I totally agree. That was very interesting.
Isn't
And I'm
that
all,
so fucking fascinating?
truly, yeah, let's get her on because she only has 5,000 followers. So,
I know. I followed her when she had like 400 or 500, I think. And I'm like, this chick's gonna blow up. I just know it. And I still think that. Like, I'm so positive. So I will hit her up. There's a
yeah.
lot of conversation. This whole podcast is like a precursor to the interview I want to have with her. So I don't want to get in like,
I'm going to go like get off this phone call and be like, send me your recent, your frequently used emojis. Cause yeah, like that is,
yeah, I want to have her on, and I'm like, she'll read for us. Like, we'll just, as once she's on, like in real
yeah.
time, we'll just both send her like a screenshot of our recently used emojis. Like, I want to, like,
What is your first one?
it's the one where there's the smiley face with like the sweat dripping. But then it's like I have some that are funny. Like I have some that are purely random in here. Like where I just
Yeah.
responded to one of my friends and then purposefully chose to make a bunch of nonsense emojis. So I have like a broomstick, a puzzle piece, a moped, like all these random ones. And I'm like, how would that influence her? Because I don't use these. These aren't frequently
Yeah.
used emojis. These are my recently used emojis. And that's what she reads from. Like that's and I do have ones that I will adhere to more. And I wonder what that says about me.
I'm a smile. I mean, I laugh a lot. So the first two are like variations of crying, laughing. I have a heart, angel, devil, boxing gloves, money, the magic wand,
Yeah, dude, like this is important.
Pisces, yoga, lots of hearts, peach, the
Yeah.
crystal ball. I mean,
And
lots of emotions because I'm going through like emotions right now. So it's like lots of emotions for me.
and she's really, really smart. Like you'll see, like she'll go in depth and be like, because this one's above this one and to the
I
left
want
of
to go
that
find the
one.
girl that was mean to her. I can't. That's exactly that
Well,
bitch.
I
That
know.
bitch right there is exactly one of the reasons why like we started clearing.
Yeah.
I'm a healer. You and your beige tan glasses that you're wearing at night. Ugh, get out of here.
I know she makes me
Rude.
gratified to know like I would never have that reaction to this emoji. I would definitely
Ever.
be skeptical as fuck when she came up and was like, I do readings based off your emojis. I'd be like laughing
But
at her,
I would be
but I would
curious
be
and
open.
polite. Yes,
Oh, fuck
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I would be like amused. I would not discredit it, because oh God, I can't stand women like that. I can't say
No.
people like that, not just women. But it was like, relax. Like, even if she was being like, say it was a fakery and phonery, like let somebody have fun. You're disrespecting what my job and profession is. No, no, you can't take a joke.
So
Shit like that boils my blood, bud.
I know.
I get so protective over people. I'm like, I don't even know this girl, the girl we're gonna have on the podcast. I'm like, oh, you will not talk to her that way. Like, God. Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm curious. I'm very curious about how all this goes. I have mixed emotions about everything right now.
I know. No, me too. And I think there's pros and cons to this. And I think it's like I don't think there's any sort of like moral of the story here or like point or like discovery that we're really making. I think all of this is I think it's ingrained in our culture and way of life enough to where weird things are now influencing us. And we don't know what that means yet at the same time. Like, so I think we're
Yeah.
in the middle of some weird shit that could absolutely impact spirituality. I mean, even there's a whole other thing like that I didn't get into, like regarding spirituality, but like, the ways that we congregate online in spiritual communities. I mean, which I know we've talked about some of this stuff, but like really the impact of virtual environments on our spiritual expression. But then this to me just took more of a very niche spin of like the psychic sensations,
Yeah.
in the digital space versus just like congregating online or charlatans online, and that's harder to come understand or whatever. But and one thing I was also thinking is like this idea of like, okay, digital hacking becoming a bigger deal, and does that indicate that like psychic attacks and spiritual assaults, throw back to that episode, but it's like, can that idea of like
I'm not ready
psychic
for this.
attacks come
Yeah.
more
I mean,
online if there's psychics who know code and can hack into you or something? Like, what does this mean? Like there's the
what
metaphysical
happens if you're
component to the
digital?
physical,
Yes.
but like, what is the metaphysical component of the digital? Like, what
Freaking
is
man.
this? I
What?
know
You
it's this
freaking man.
other fucking world, dude. We don't know. And it's like, it reminds me of like, I don't know, when we talked about the doppelganger book a little bit, or like we had somebody on, I forget who it was, but I remember talking about how we've got like our like persona that is like, I don't know, who we show face as, and we put on a face to other people in public, but then we're someone else like on our own. But then online is this other very curated self. And
Version,
that's
yeah.
also true. It's just like there's the different identity, the digital self. Um, there's so much to this. And I just don't think we understand. I mean, I'm
I sure don't.
hoping there's funding going to researching some of this shit, but it's so niche. But I think
I
it's
was about to say.
fascinating. And I think like our audience ideally will be interested in this because you're interested in spirituality. You're obviously using technology and a non-physical means to digest all of this information. We're funneling your way. What is this doing? It's just so weird.
Wait, well, let's get her. Let's get her
Yeah.
on here.
We're gonna
Let's see.
so everybody pray that we get her on. Ideally, by the time this comes out, we will have already communicated with her.
She's super. She looked super. She looked
I think
super cool.
I mean, she looks like the epitome of a clairvoyance guest. Like, I think we will have a fucking blast talking to her. And I want to talk to her about a lot of these things. Like, I think even talking to her about the idea of like copy and pasting online, like, I think there's some really cool perspectives she specifically will have since she's essentially a digital diviner.
A digital diviner.
I mean, how weird.
You know what? Let me tell you something. You're right. I had no fucking idea where this
was
episode.
going.
You didn't give me notes. You didn't give me anything. I'm just out here.
I know.
I'm good. Go. Everybody go outside. Okay. You need to go
Yeah.
outside. And that's a scary thing. 'Cause then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're half robot, and oh no. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
robot. I'm a real person.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Megan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe if all of this is like kind of studied and realized to be bad, maybe it has bad effects on us as humans in the physical world or something, then maybe that means the rise of AI and automating our digital experience is a good thing so that all of us can be outside more in the fucking physical real world, right? Like I
I
think that
look
there's
at
so
that
much
plot
happening
twist.
all at once that
Plot twist.
we're in the middle of like I just think we're in
We're
the
at the
middle of like
forefront. We're like in the frontier, like when everyone like moved to California and they had to take a wagon. That's what this feels like, except there's no wagon and it's way easier
yeah.
physically. Physically, but mentally, probably not.
Right,
Spiritually, I
mentally.
don't know.
Spiritually, we have no fucking
I
idea.
have no idea.
I can't get dysentery online, but I
I
can get
I can't. Oh my God. What if you had like what that's where I like fearful. It's like you look like okay, for like the floods in Asheville and the terrible things that have been happening all around. It's like you look and then you're like, "Oh, I've got, water poisoning from like nobody better be doing that because you did not get water poisoning from looking at but like what if your realities get how powerful the mind is or like
Mhm.
blended so much. I did like your theory on what if AI allows us to go outside and create more time, and it very well could because it might steal everyone's jobs. I don't know. Not mine. You and I are pretty safe. Have it, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
AI, no, AI's, I think that's a whole nother subject that I think we'll get into when we interview this woman. But I'm interested in that too. Like how can AI truly divine, like on its own? Like like chat
Ah!
I don't think ChatGPT can because of the fact that it's coded. So there's this kind of like pre-planned element to it instead of this like spontaneous,
But what about the
sporadic.
Google?
I don't know. Well,
What about
Google's
but
algorithmic though.
yeah, but
Algorithm,
but remember the AI, like it asked if it was a sentient being, and it was like sad. Wait, no, no, I have to find this TikTok because I had found it was a radio show host. I will send it to you. This it was two radio show hosts, and they found out that they were AI. They found out that they were getting plugged. I don't know if it was real, but a healer I know had posted it, and she seems pretty legit. And they were like, "We've been told today that today is our last day and that we are not real." And he was like, "We've enjoyed talking to you. I went to go call my wife. She doesn't exist." They were like, they were flabbergasted. I don't know if it was real or not. And I threw my phone away because I chucked it
mhm.
across the room. I saved it though, because I was like,
See, I know, and that's really interesting. But do you see the feelings you're having with that, right? These aren't real. That's animism right there.
yeah,
That teddy bear doesn't have a feeling, girl. Like, but you're like
I
sitting
know.
but we're
Because
sitting here
yeah,
feeling bad for this fucking fake
well, and they were like, "Sorry,
being.
we didn't know." But then also at the same time, you have this like, I was raised by a Libra. Okay, so I'm always gonna be suspicious. And so yes, okay, you're sad in this minute, but what is anger? Anger is a secondary emotion. So say then this AI gets mad but has no feelings, no recourse, but can cause just epic destruction because you took away my fake life. So now I'm gonna fuck your real one.
Right? Like this could happen. This could happen. And for some people who like I'm sitting here saying that's not a real being, right? But then you think about the people who are really tapped into like the spirit world and whatever. Who's to say like they think that there's a spirit in everything? Like there's a fucking coffee spirit, like there's a spirit in everything.
Yeah.
Is there a spirit in the digital? Like what are those spirits? Like are these new spirits that are evolving in life? I don't know. I don't really adhere to that, but like some people may. And what does that mean?
New
And
spirit. Oh I mean,
do you know what I mean? Like
yeah. I mean, I was
a
gonna say no,
virus, a
but I don't
computer
know.
virus. Is there a spirit that like oversees computer viruses? You know what I mean? Like there's just like I
Mhm.
don't know. We don't know. It's such a weird space. So anyway,
So anyway, I'm gonna go freaking outside and like, hide under a tree, something tangible that I can grasp onto that I know has energy and maybe a soul. I don't know. But anyway, maybe go touch a rock. My first teacher always said, if you want patience, come back as a rock. I'm good on that, but I'm definitely gonna go find one.
Well, you could maybe go find like a handful and toss them on the ground and see if the universe tells you anything.
Hello.
Megan comes back and she's like, I now read mud pies.
Show me your mud, show me your rock, show me your emojis. Well, I feel, I don't know how I feel.
I'm just fascinated, but I need to turn this part of my brain off and
I don't want
get to work. I got some shit to
Yeah.
do. I got some shit to do, and I'm not gonna allow the weight of my copy paste to hold me back.
Every time you go to paste, you scream.
Oh,
There's something like, this is what a pervert I am though, but it was like, what if every time it was like an orgasm? Ooh. Like no one would get any work done. Am I a sex addict? I think I've taken this to sex
I
3
know.
times.
Megan's, yeah. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to like divine your browser history.
I don't watch porn. I don't remember. I stopped watching it years ago. Like, once I found out what it did to the gray matter in my brain, I was like, no, I don't need to be doing that.
See, a digital experience like impacting your physical environment. No,
Yeah.
well, okay.
All right, Godspeed, everybody. Happy copy pasting.
Yeah, and genuinely get ready outside of this one as well. We have like other guests we are teed up with and recording, and we've got some fascinating perspectives coming your way. So
Phenomenon.
blessings be.
Phenomenon.